Maybe probably shouldn't have got thrown out of the game. Whatever, that's irrelevant. Judgment call by the referee, Fred, don't call me Jerry Garcia. So as Fred Garcia announces the penalties, you see Duran being let off the field. And then later, after he announces the ejection, Duran rushes back onto the field and just, crushes the referee. Knocks him down. Obviously, the guy was already kicked out of the game. We haven't heard anything yet, but obviously, because his team did win and advance to the state finals, obviously, he will not be participating in that state championship game.
No.
You would think, unless in Texas they have a weird rule where you play while you're appealing, like they do in Major League Baseball. So he's done. The charges have not been filed yet, but they certainly could. I mean, when you see the video, it's crazy.
It's unbelievable, and this is where hopefully there can be a conversation between Duran, between Garcia, the coach, the athletic director, and there can be a lesson learned. Now, sometimes lessons have to be learned the hard way. Maybe they go through the process of filing charges. I would somewhat be surprised if they do, but much like I learned and have never forgotten that talk that I had from my coach, I would hope that this is an opportunity for Duran to learn a very valuable lesson, and one that will serve him well, not just in the football field or on the wrestling mat or track and field, but just in life, right? You're going to get screwed at times.
Yeah.
And that's not how you react. And that's the beauty of playing football, right? Is between whistles, I can be as violent as I want. I can take that aggression out on my opponent, and people will cheer for that. That's what's supposed to happen. But after the whistle, you can't have those reactions.
Our telephone number is 248-539-9797. Think this kid should be charged? Because I do. I mean, I'm sorry. I know it's an emotional game, and I know he's young. I mean, I have no idea. It doesn't say whether he's 18 or over. Because in Texas,
right?
Yeah, in Texas, they kind of hold guys back a little bit, just so they're better athletes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They do that. So I have no idea if he's technically an adult. I don't think that makes a difference. Garcia, by the way, did not return to the field. He was later evaluated for a possible concussion. The coach of Edinburgh, which is the man's team, could not make any comment. So the police declined to provide any additional information. Have you ever seen anything like this? I mean, we had an awful situation where I believe, and spare me I don't know all the details. I don't remember all the details and names. But was it a rec soccer league game where somebody actually got killed?
I think it was in the camp there.
Yeah.
It was about 5 years ago, roughly. And some guy lost his temper.
Right.
Ended up hitting the ref.
Yeah.
It's this. I don't understand how it gets to this point.
No.
But I don't understand the physical contact part of it. Like, I can understand getting hot and heavy and berating a ref at that level, I guess. I mean, but I just don't, once it gets to high school, it's very competitive. I just don't get that you can't resist not physically contacting.
Well, but here's where I would go with, and I don't think he should be charged, but I do think there needs to be a meeting, and there needs to be, but what we don't know is the context of Emmanuel Duran. Like, we don't know his history. Is this something like, is this a character trait that he has, that he flies off the handle when anything like this happens? If that's the case, and this is a repeated offense, not that he's ever hit an official like this, because I'm sure it would probably be reported in the news article, but if this is something that is a path that he has taken many times before, then maybe you do go the legal route, you press charges, because something has to get home to this young man that this isn't what you do.
I would press charges. Absolutely. What's amazing is this kid is like a super athlete. You mentioned that he's a, wrestling star, okay? He's one of the best in the state. He did some track and field. He is a junior, defensive tackle. He scored a rushing touchdown as a running back. He also kicked a 51-yard unbelievable. But he obviously has a problem, or at least just in this one case. I'm trying to find if there's a history of his behavior.
No, I'm looking on his huddle page, and it doesn't say. It just says he's a junior. There's not much more information available there, but it's just this one of those cases where I wouldn't question. Like, again, it's about the context. Like, has this happened before? Is this the path that he continues to do, or is this a one-off? Like, that would be a huge determining factor if I'm Mr. Garcia, or if I'm the coach, the athletic director. Obviously, there are penalties in place, like you can't possibly play the championship game.
Right.
And what is the penalty for next year? Like, maybe this has to carry over. He's got to live with this, obviously, for the next 8 months, and then maybe he has to suspension next year.
I think there's charges. I mean, you get charges for, you beat up a kid in the class in the school by the locker. What's the difference? This is worse to me than on a field charging a referee, a person in authority. Sorry. I mean,
if he gets suspended the rest of this year, and then I love what John said, a couple games next year, but not the whole season or anything like that, and is willing to come out and apologize and say, I'm going to actually try to, speak out against what I did. I think that's good enough. Without there being some sort of record or him having to do community service because of this or something like that.
Well, I'm not saying to lock the kid up or anything like that, but I think he should be charged.
It's on his record then. And I think if you show remorse and you're penalized and you do things that there are second chances, you don't want to ruin this kid either. I mean, I'm not trying to condone anything he did. I would like to put a little bit of blame on, as we go on in society, more and more blame is put on officials, and replay has done this, and officials are treated with less and less respect in all sports. You have youth baseball where they struggle to get referees because they don't want to be berated. It's just a trend where we're going in society. We stop blaming referees for, it goes too far, and this is some of the fallout that happens.
All right, our telephone number 248-539-9797. Heather with news coming up next.
Yes, so Chris Collinsworth is in some hot water after he made, a questionable comment about female sports fans. So we're going to talk about that next.
All right, 97.1, The Ticket.
97.1, The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AM 950 Traffic Center, this report brought to you by Golly Kia. A new problem has popped up in the Taylor area, 94 westbound after Telegraph. That's where an accident is working to clear from the right lane and shoulder. Be prepared for slowdowns from before Telegraph. We want to see you in the Golly Kia. The Golly difference is now at Golly Kia of Madison Heights. Come in today for the Kia Command the Season event. Golly Kia of Madison Heights is now open on 14 miles just east of John R. Trust the Golly difference. GollyKia.com, your Kia destination. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
Now, text or call the ticket using the same number. Ticket text 248-539-9797.
Right now at Subway restaurants, try the $5.99 meal of the day. Every day it's a different 6-inch sub plus chips in a 20-ounce drink for just $5.99. Come in any day of the week for one of your favorites, like sweet onion chicken teriyaki on Monday or turkey breast on Wednesday. Made on your choice of bread with any veggies and sauces you want. Then add chips in a 20-ounce drink and you've got the $5.99 meal of the day. A great meal at a great price. Every day of the week, only at Subway. At participating restaurants, additional charge for extras plus applicable tax. No additional discounts or coupons may be applied.
Sometimes in business, the unexpected comes calling. From rent increases to increased orders to, I'm going to say it, unprecedented times. But don't bounce back. Bounce forward with Comcast Business. Bounce forward fast with internet speeds up to a gig. With the flexibility to update your bandwidth in just a few clicks. And with security solutions that help keep your connected devices protected. Be fast, be flexible, be ready for what's next. And bounce forward with Comcast Business. Help your business bounce forward with this amazing offer. Get started with a powerful and reliable internet and voice solution from Comcast Business for $35 each a month for 24 months for 2 years when you buy both. Plus, for a limited time, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card when you upgrade. Call 1-800-501-6000 or go to ComcastBusiness.com today to learn more. Restrictions apply. Limited to new Comcast Business 35 megabits per second internet. One voice minority customers. Early termination fee applies. Enrollment and equal bill amount pay required. Prepaid card offer ends 12/7/20 and requires business internet 1 gig double play.
97.1 The Ticket and Ellison Brewery have teamed up to make 2 exciting new beers. Introducing 97.1 The Ticket American Lager and 97.1 The Ticket Double Dry Hopped Hazy Pale Ale. Look for them on draft at a bar or restaurant near you.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur. I started my first business in the basement of a factory over 30 years ago. We had no heat and no air conditioning. Instead of customers, our office visitors were rats, birds, flies, and snakes. Our office flooded often, and we used blankets as our office walls. We were broke and needed help. That's why I created Patriot Software, to help small business owners with simple payroll for 1 to 100 employees. And if you need help, we will help you for free. Go to PatriotSoftware.com. Use promo code RADIO and get 2 months of payroll processing free. That's PatriotSoftware.com.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
I'm Dr. Baker, an ER physician. If you're having leg pain, swelling, or redness, but haven't talked to your doctor yet, don't wait. This could be deep vein thrombosis, a blood clot which could travel to your lungs and lead to a pulmonary embolism, which could cause chest pain or discomfort or difficulty breathing and be deadly. Your symptoms could mean something serious, so don't wait. Talk to a doctor right away, by phone, online, or in person.
Brought to you by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer. Critics are calling Stephen Colbert the hottest late-night host.
Boom! Bombshell!
A riveting watch.
What?
Gripping television and a beacon of hope and humanity.
Wow!
The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Weeknights on CBS. Did you know there's more than one Las Vegas? There's the Strip with families on vacation and questionable odds. Then there's downtown Vegas, the original gambling and entertainment mecca. That's where you'll find the D Las Vegas. Book your stay at thed.com. The D Las Vegas, your home for Detroit sports in Vegas. Nothing gets you ready for Week 13 in the NFL like Game Day Uncensored. Follow all the games you care about with the insight and analysis you trust. Game Day Uncensored starts Sunday at 9 on 97.1 The Ticket.
All right, before we get to Heather, we have some ticket texts on the Texas situation. The high school player charging the referee. Come on, guys. This is assault. Let the legal process determine how it's handled. That's from Jason at home. This kid deserves jail. 100%. He's old enough to know right or wrong. We cannot keep giving these kids a slap on the wrist. He maliciously assaulted another human being. So just because it was on a football field, he shouldn't face charges? Unreal. That's from James T. in Lake Orion. You know, if you think about it, remember J. Rue Campbell? I mean,
Yeah.
now, I don't remember if he got jailed. Yeah, he got put away, right, for a while? If I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. And he hit a kid, well, it was a woman by a locker. That's obviously a little worse, but still. Screw the two of you. Charge him. Put it on his damn record. He did it. Would you be so defensive of him if he was just good at math? That's why I said you have to file charges. I can't believe this is even a conversation. Usually I agree with John, but 100% agree with Stoney. You need to accept responsibility for your actions, and if this happened off the field and he's charged, no doubt. This goes beyond football, and obviously she gets suspended for the championship, but that punishment is not enough for this behavior. Yes, put it on his record. If you don't jail him, okay, that's fine. But there's a thing called juvie too. People make if he's not 18 years old.
You know what? The one thing I thought about is, what if the ref was injured here?
Yes.
What if the
Well,
ref?
he's got- yeah.
And I think I'm kind of starting to rethink this a little bit, and it's because
Don't get swayed.
No.
Hold tight to your opinion.
Look, I still believe that the multiple game suspension into next year, and then him doing some sort of community service, and then you don't have something on your record long term. I still believe that. But I hate the hypocrisy, call myself out here a little bit. I hate that we sometimes penalize people based on whether the person gets injured by that happen, by luck.
Hockey justice.
Yeah,
Well,
where,
it's a
he fell
level
on his
of-
head and so he got hurt, or he had a concussion, or what if he caused permanent brain damage? Then the discussion is different, and it's all by the luck of the fall.
Well,
I
that's
still
like-
think it's about intervention, right? If this is something that has been, a part of his past, then yes, you maybe you press charges. I would say the same thing about if it was a teacher in school, and you didn't like your math grade and you did something. Is this a trait of something that has been a part of who you are over the course of your
Well, if he has a prior, if he has priors, so to speak, or other incidents,
Right.
then it's worse. Okay, obviously, but I'm sorry. He should get charged. Now, like I said, you don't want to lock him up, fine, but put it on his record for a while. Then, after time, good behavior, maybe because if he is a juvenile, if he is under 18, then that record can be,
How about his
be
parents?
clean. I'm not going to blame his parents for this. That's ridiculous too, I think. Anyway, Heather, save us.
Yes. Okay. So an Australian family was in for quite a shock when they actually found this surprising intruder in their Christmas tree. And it was not an owl like the previous story, I think last year, or the little owl in the Rockefeller Christmas tree. It was actually a koala bear. Okay? So this family knew something was up when they got in. Their dog was sniffing all around the tree, acting very strange. And lo and behold, there was a little koala bear inside their tree. And what makes this even crazier is that this wasn't a real tree. This wasn't a tree they went and cut down and brought into their house. This was an artificial tree. It was already decorated. And at first, the mom thought it was a prank. Thought her kids were playing a prank on her and stuffed like a stuffed animal in the tree just to scare her, right? But it wasn't a prank. It wasn't a stuffed animal. It was real. So they had to call in a koala rescue to come in for assistance. They said she was a female koala, 3 or 4 years old. They named her Daphne, and she's been released to the wild. But they said apparently koalas are very curious and they seek shade. So I guess the door was open, and that's how the koala got in. Was curious about this Christmas tree and just climbed right on up.
Hey, if you fooled a koala bear, that might be a pretty damn good Christmas tree, right? Hey,
Yeah, the mom said the koala was trying to chomp on the branches, but then obviously realized it was plastic and, didn't actually eat it. Thank goodness. Okay, so Chris Collinsworth, he is apologizing after making comments about female Steeler fans during Wednesday's game between the Ravens and the Steelers. Okay, so I don't know if you heard this. We're going to play exactly what he said, but basically he said he had the chance to speak with a lot of Steelers fans, and he was blown away with how knowledgeable they were, especially the women.
Hit it, Paul.
In particular, the ladies that I met, they had really specific questions about the game. I was like, wow, you're just blown away by how strong the fans are here in this town.
Okay, so
Who cares?
I didn't think it was all that bad, but there was a lot of people who felt the comments were sexist, and they made it well known. They didn't like what he said, so he later apologized after the game. He issued a really long apology. You can read it all on Twitter. Basically, what he said is that his comment was meant to be a compliment,
Yes.
and that he feels sick that he insulted any fans, and especially any female fans and female journalists.
So he says, especially the ladies asked the
Yes.
tougher questions, and then he said he's amazed, not by them, but by the fans of Pittsburgh. Okay?
Right.
So he put it all, and encompassing, he just happened to comment that the ladies asked the tougher questions. Gee, I'm sorry. You know what? Lock him up.
This is the story of the day that makes me hate the world that we live in now
Yes.
today. Because, you know what? He's just trying to have some fun here. He's a good dude. We've met him,
Yes.
Stoney. He's a genuine guy.
He's the best there is to what he does.
And you know what? It just makes me think back to, I think it was the 04 playoffs when Randy Moss did the moon thing. And he was with Joe Buck on Fox at the time. He goes, oh, he shot the crowd the moon.
Right.
It was funny. If you did said that today, you know, can we have some fun in life? Jeez.
I can understand why some women might be offended, but he didn't say it in an offensive way. Like, when you listen to his tone, he was saying it in a complimentary way. He
Right.
wasn't going after people. You have to listen to the whole thing in the context in which it was said.
But because
And
he
how
was
he said it.
surprised that they asked tough
Yes.
questions means he didn't think that women are capable of that. I didn't think that.
Exactly.
Look, I am not a woman, so I obviously have a different take. I don't know. I look at it. I try to be fair. I thought he was being very complimentary, and I don't think it was a shot or anything like that, or sexist.
I didn't either. This is pretty cool. Warner Brothers announced yesterday that all movies on its 2021 release schedule will also hit HBO Max the same day they hit theaters. So if you don't have a subscription to HBO Max, it might be time to get one. They're going to be available to stream for no extra charge, but they'll only be available for 30 days, and then they'll be in theaters only. But this is pretty cool. Obviously, I think a lot of theaters were taken aback by this news, quite shocked. Warner Brothers doesn't think this will hurt movie theaters in any way, but it very well could, especially now during a pandemic
Is
or
worried
ending
about
of a
their bottom
pandemic.
line.
Yeah, of course they are.
I mean, and I think this is great.
Yeah.
I do too. I'm surprised this didn't happen earlier with some movies. Because there's movies that are ready to come out now, but because of the pandemic, they were pushed back. And I would have spent quite a bit of money during the beginning of the pandemic or in the middle there to watch a new blockbuster movie at home.
This might be
More than I would have at a theater.
This might be a conversation for another day, but everybody talking about cutting the cord, getting rid of cable or your satellite dish to save money. Well, explain this to me, and I don't know the answer. That's what I'm saying for another day. With Hulu, HBO Max, Amazon Prime, Netflix, all these cool stuff. If you want to get them all, doesn't that end up costing as much as cable? If you got all the streaming services, I don't know.
We have all of them, and we're spending way less than.
Okay.
Well, and you can bundle.
We don't have all of them, I guess. And we get them, and then we get rid of them when we watch. Like, the only reason we have Disney Plus is for The Mandalorian. Okay. Once that's all done, my husband finishes it, we will not have that anymore.
Still don't like
there's no
Olaf,
point
do you?
to have it. So.
Still don't like my Olaf, do you? You're not gonna watch Frozen. Come on.
No, I don't like Frozen at all. I love Disney, but Frozen is not up there with my favorite movies. No, it's just not. Nope.
By the way, Olaf sends his best in case you.
Oh, does he? Yes,
Yes, he does. Yes.
Kind of bounces in the wind out there. Yes.
It's waving to you.
Silly. All right, so John, a former teammate of yours, actually, Carlos Rogers, has admitted to participating in a multi-million-dollar scheme to defund the NFL's healthcare benefit program.
Carlos Rogers, the defensive back?
Yes. The DB.
Yep, so, he is one of 12 players that allegedly targeted the Gene Upshaw NFL Player Health Reimbursement Account Plan, where they were submitting basically false claims for super expensive medical equipment, things that weren't even meant for humans. Some of them were meant for horses, for example, but they never actually purchased or received this equipment. So they were just scamming the system. And he admitted to helping recruit other former players to join the scheme. And there's another former teammate of yours as well, John, that will be on trial in April, Clinton Portis.
Yes. Shocker to the world. The shock of the decade. This infuriates me, right? Because if anybody has, so the way that this is set up, and it's become much more difficult to be reimbursed because of these knuckleheads.
Yep.
They're not stealing from a company. They're stealing from their teammates, from their friends. This is a fund that you only get 18 months of health insurance when you retire from the NFL. You get another 18 months of Cobra. After that, you have to find your own health insurance, and most guys rely upon this fund to help subsidize and pay for your family's health care. Or if there's any bills that and a lot of former players aren't in great health, and this is what they use, it has become immensely difficult to get reimbursed. You have to be, it's like buying a house. Every time you go to get reimbursed, you've got to sign multiple documents. You've got to provide all of this information. And for these knuckleheads to do it, and you guys know how much I love Clinton Portis, it drives me nuts. This is one, Stoney, I know you want to lock up Mr. Duran, the 17-year-old in high school in Texas. Lock these guys up and throw away the key.
Oh, yeah, because, it affects you.
At the light, turn left onto West 14 Mile Road, then turn right onto Inkster Road.
I'll be over in a minute.
Thank you, Heather. Coming up next, The expert on picks, Nick Costos, 97 won the ticket.
Is your home listed on the market with a realtor who just couldn't get it sold? Don't give up. Call me, Mark Z, and get your home sold.
Stratus Building Solutions of Detroit. Excellence in commercial cleaning. Hi, I'm Jeff Kolaski. As your business continues to operate through these winter months, disinfecting against COVID-19 and the cleanliness of your facility is essential for customers and your
At the stop
employees.
sign,
No matter your
turn
business,
right onto
daycare,
Inkster Road.
office building, fitness center, retailer, factory, your satisfaction is guaranteed. Call us today for a free quote at 313-960-4737. That's 313-960-4737 or visit us at stratusdetroit.com.
In 1.9
What can help
miles,
you
turn
take
left
advantage
onto
of
West
today's
12
low
Mile
mortgage
Road.
rates and save money? Rocket can. You can save hundreds of dollars every month by refinancing with Rocket Mortgage at today's near historic low rates. If your current rate is over 4%, you could lower your payment by over $150 a month, saving thousands in interest every year. Call us today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Savings are based on applicant loans, internal payment, fees may apply. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender, license and all 50 states, and MLS consumer access.org, number 30.
This holiday season may feature more merriment with our devices than ever before as we stay connected with family, friends, and a blizzard of online shopping. But all that online activity can mean more chances of exposing your personal information. In fact, 64% of adults admit to risking online privacy for convenience. Whether you're buying gifts or getting something special for yourself, you may not know that your identity has been compromised or that your info has been sold on the dark web. Don't spend the holidays without identity theft protection from LifeLock. It monitors for uses of your personal information, and if you have a problem with identity theft, a U.S.-based identity restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but LifeLock can help you feel safer and warm this holiday season and all year long.
In 1
Save
mile,
up to
turn left
25%
onto
off your
West
first
12
year
Mile
at
Road.
LifeLock.com using promo code AWARE. That's LifeLock.com, promo code AWARE to save 25% off.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Looking for the perfect present? Then head to the perfect place. Stop by your neighborhood Ace and find the best gifts from brands like Steel, Eagle, and Milwaukee, or Traeger, Weber, and Yeti. And to help make sure your gifts are under your tree on time, you can shop in-store, online, or on the Ace app. Pick up in-store, curbside, or get them delivered. Get amazing deals on the best gifts when you wrap it in red at Ace at participating stores.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Cheryl Underwood, and as you know, I'm a huge fan of Metamucil, and I have some news to share. Metamucil now has a delicious fiber gummy made by the #1 doctor-recommended fiber supplement brand. These gummies are a convenient way to get more fiber. That's because Metamucil fiber gummies are made with an exclusive blend of prebiotic plant-based fibers that give you 5 grams of fiber in each serving. I want you to promote your digestive health by trying new Metamucil gummies today.
This hour of Instant Feedback brought to you by Mike Capura of National Benefit Plans. For affordable health insurance, call 877-734-2200.
97 won the ticket. Would like to remind you that when you text the ticket, standard text messaging rates apply. Live from the Jamie Samuelson studio, here's Stoney and Jansen.
97-1 the ticket, all right. Let's get to somebody who actually knows what you're talking about. Although,
In 6.2
as we
miles, take
determine in
exit
the next
14C
segment,
onto
once in a while,
M39 and
people
South
get on
Hill
a roll.
Freeway.
And I'm 14-1 our last 3 weeks, which is incredible, because usually I suck. Joining us now, somebody who definitely does not suck, the host of You Better You Bet, our Radio.com sports betting insider Nick Costos. Nick is brought to us by BetRivers Sportsbook. Go to betrivers.net and sign up for a free $5,000 weekly pick'em contest. What's up, Nick? How are you?
Stoney and Jansen, what's going on, guys? Happy Football Friday to you and the great people of Detroit.
Yes, indeed. Let's start with the college ranks. Obviously, Michigan not playing, so the focus locally is in East Lansing, where we think there will be a football game. I know Ohio State's flying out here at 8 o'clock tonight, and then they'll be tested and figure out if they have enough capable bodies to play, which I think they will. Ryan Day not coaching the team. Huge spread in this game. What, 23.5, 24? What do you see here?
Yeah, 24 over at Bet Rivers right now. And I've been honest with you guys throughout the entire season. This has not been a big volume college football season for me in terms of bets. Like, it's just been way too wonky. There's way too much information out there that a lot of people are not privy to. And by the time we get it, the line has moved a ton already. So this has not been a massive college football season for me. That being said, I do kind of have some feeling in this game tomorrow. And I like Ohio State and laying it with the Buckeyes here. And I kind of think we're in the style points phase of the season, especially with so much up in the air as far as it concerns the college football playoff. And I do think the committee is still able to pull a fast one on us no matter what happens before the final ranking. They can still put the four obvious teams in, Ohio State being one of them. But I think Ohio State kind of needs, in order for that to happen, to kind of have this be like a flawless sort of resume here. So I certainly think that it's not just like a go to East Lansing and win for Ohio State. I think it's a go and like BCS style, run the score up maybe on Michigan State. So I will look to lay it with Ohio State tomorrow. But again, like, this has not been a big college football season for me, much more focused on the NFL.
And I think you're right,
Stay in
because
the left
with Michigan
3
shutting
lanes.
down, there is a chance, and argue about why it would happen, but there's a good chance that game might not be played next week where they really want to run up the score. So this could be their last chance to run up the score.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I mean, it's so wacky. Like explaining all the particulars of how this could potentially go down would take like 15 minutes, but it is wild, obviously, and we live in a wild time right now. So it is what it is. I would lay it with Ohio State tomorrow against Michigan State.
Well, big picture, that having just talked about what we did, it's so hard to pick these games. You're not getting a lot of volume. What are you seeing in regards to who is actually going to be in the college football playoffs, or just picking a national champion at this point?
Well, I think Alabama is the team to beat, and I don't think anyone can really beat Alabama based on what we've seen this season. Like, Ohio State has shown, I think, major deficiencies on the defensive side of the ball, which have not been exposed yet. But I think if they play Alabama and play Clemson, I think they would be exposed. I think Notre Dame would lose to Clemson if when they play again in the ACC championship game. And Clemson is not going to have its defensive shortcomings this year. So I think it's going to be the obvious four teams in the college football playoff. Maybe Florida State's in. But I think Notre Dame gets it even with a loss to Clemson in the ACC title game. So I think it's Clemson, Notre Dame, Ohio State, and Alabama who are most likely to. Cincinnati would be the one, like, major outsider that I think would have a chance to get in, maybe replacing Ohio State. But I mean, I doubt they would do that. And then I think it's really tough to bet against Alabama even when that happens. So it's wild, right? It's been a season where it's been the craziest college football season. And God willing, we'll ever see. It's going to be the four most obvious teams in the college football playoff, and Alabama and Clemson probably in the title game. And Alabama, I think, is the best team in the nation this year. I don't know. I don't want to say college football is going to waste its time this year, because I know there are a lot of people that are into it. There's certainly good kids that are playing. It's not, but from a betting perspective, this has been like one big waste of the season. I'm not trying to be negative. It just kind of is what it is, unfortunately.
Yeah, but unfortunately, this computer testing positive, so we should put up negative to use that word, because there's a lot of games that aren't being played. All right, the NFL, we look at the card and we see, if I'm not correct, at least 4 games with double-digit lines. What do you see there?
All right, so let's talk about the games with double-digit lines. Let's start in Miami. We talked about all the Dolphins welcoming in Brandon Allen and the Cincinnati Bengals over at Bet Rivers. The Dolphins 11.5-point home favorites. Total sitting at 42.5. I love the Dolphins. I bet it earlier in the week. I got a better number than 11.5, but I still think 11.5 is worth it here. I think Miami should be 2 touchdown favorites here, maybe even 14.5 against the Cincinnati Bengals. And I know people will look at the Bengals result last week against the Giants, only losing by 2. They were in it at the end and think, maybe this could be a team that's sticky with Brandon Allen as the quarterback replacing Joe Burrow. Well, the Bengals needed a 103-yard kick return touchdown to stay in that game against the Giants last week, and I doubt that's going to happen this week against a very good special teams coach in Brian Flores. And with the Dolphins have cooking there in South Florida, I think the Bengals are really going to struggle to put points up on the board. I love Miami here. The Bengals defense is dreadful. Now, Daniel Jones went out in the game last week. He stays in. I think it's a different story. Giants probably cover that spread. I think the Dolphins get it done in a big way. I would look to lay it with the Miami Dolphins. The Vikings 10.5-point favorites at home against Mike Glennon and the Jaguars. I kind of like Jacksonville here. We're going to get a favorable injury report today on Friday. DJ Chark and Chris Conley, they can get some of these receivers back that were missing last week. The Jaguars have really acquitted themselves well as of late, and Glennon a clear upgrade for me over Jake Luton. The Vikings defense is not good, so points. I think the Jaguars can score to stay in this game here. So if you're going to give me over 10, I'll take those 10.5 points right now with the Jaguars, provided I get a good injury report today on Friday. The Seahawks 10-point favorites over likely Colt McCoy and the New York Football Giants. I lead the Giants here just because, and I think this is something that's going to be probably more viable for people as we move down the stretch of the season when it comes to Seahawks games. This Seahawks team has officially morphed back into the 2019 Seahawks. This is not the team that opened the year at the hashtag let Russ cook, throwing on first down, being super aggressive. And since the Cardinals game a couple weeks ago on Thursday night, and then certainly last Monday night against the Eagles here, this is the old Seahawks here, where they're going to play very conservatively. Russ is not going to be able to throw the ball until they get into situations where they need to. They're calling this championship football again in Seattle, which may be good news for the wins and losses. It's not great news for fantasy football and for covering the spread. Now, it is Colt McCoy for the Giants this week. If it were Daniel Jones, I'd feel better about Big Blue. No play on this game for me with Seattle, though, as a 10-point favorite. And the last one is Sunday Night Football. Chiefs 2-touchdown favorite against the Broncos. I don't really see how you can bet this game. I mean, Kansas City's going to win and win big. The question is, are you going to feel comfortable if you bet the Chiefs if they're up by 20 with 3 minutes to play and Drew Lock, the ultimate garbage time quarterback, has the ball with a chance to backdoor? And conversely, are you going to feel comfortable betting on Denver in that same exact scenario? So I think it's kind of a stay away from me on Sunday Night Football.
You got two basically pick-up games between the Pats and Chargers and Bills and Niners. When you look at those pick-up lines, what does it make you think of as a bettor?
Well, the Patriots-Chargers one is the really interesting one to me. What it makes me think of as a bettor is I almost think like we've never seen a coaching matchup priced in the market the way it is here with the Patriots and the Chargers. Because let's make no bones about it. The Chargers are a vastly superior team to the Patriots in terms of on-field talent. Like, it is not close. Basically, at all levels of the 53-man roster, the Chargers are a better team than the Patriots. But New England is a 1-point road favorite right now at Bet Rivers. And the reason for that, obviously, is the fact that on one sideline, you've got the greatest of all time head coach Bill Belichick, and the other, you've got a guy in Anthony Lynn who I feel like, God willing, humans are still here 50,000 years from now. They'll be analyzing what happened at the end of the Chargers-Bills game, trying to figure out what happened. And I don't think they're going to be able to come up with an answer because it was inexplicable. So I acknowledge the Patriots are better, but I can never bet on them in this spot. Like, never, because he's going to screw it up down the stretch, and Belichick's going to make the right call. So I lean the Patriots there. I actually think the Chargers are a decent teaser, because I think this is likely like a 3-point, 2-point Patriots win, something like that. But teasing the Chargers up, I do think makes some sense. And the Bills-Niners game, we have something we haven't seen before, which is San Francisco is the Arizona 49ers for the next couple weeks now. So this game's going to be played in Arizona, and I thought the line that opened made a lot of sense. Bills minus 2.5, and I like San Francisco at that price. There's something to remember about the Bills now. John Brown is on injured reserve, their number 2 wide receiver. Looks like a high ankle sprain. Going to miss at least the next 2 games. We have seen this entire season in games where John Brown has missed. This offense is unlocked when he's on the field because they want to be able to do this 4 wide receiver set, spread, throw it out all over the place. You can't really do that without both Diggs and John Brown. Now, Gabe Davis, the rookie, actually played pretty well last week in John Brown's stead. But this is now a Niners defense that they're facing here with Richard Sherman back. That looked great last week against the Rams. Getting some pieces back here. So I'm curious to see what Gabe Davis looks like this week. Because if the Bills are going to have to play down the stretch of the season, John, the high ankle sprain is bad for a skill position player. So if they don't get John Brown back, I think this really hurts the Bills, potentially in a wild card playoff game down the stretch of the season here. Now that the number is down to Bills minus 1 at Bet Rivers, I think this is probably a stay away for me, although I kind of think the Niners are just going to win the game straight up.
All right, the marquee game, Soldier Field, the Lions and the Bears. A few things here. New coach, Darrell Bevell. A lot of times new coaches get a little bump, but Matt Nagy called out his team so that he's maybe coaching for his job right now. And also, Trubisky is, I believe, undefeated against the Lions.
Well, I mean, if DeAndre Swift catches that ball in week 1, I think we're probably having a different story about that particular stat. By the way, I'll just say this. Lions fans, you got to be happy, right? I mean,
Yes.
get the two clowns out and Quinn and Patricia, and at least roll the dice, because whatever's coming next can't be worse. It can only be as bad as what you just had. So,
Exactly.
So I think Lions fans should be pretty pumped right now. Honestly, like, it's been a crappy season and a crappy couple of years, but I mean, things can't get worse. They can only get better or just stay as bad. So I think choose to be optimistic. As far as this game on Sunday, picking this game right now on Friday morning, I think is very hard, because there's a lot of injury information that we still don't know. Like, Kenny Golladay has not practiced this week. DeAndre Swift has been cleared from concussion protocol. I'd like to see him practice today, but he has not practiced yet this week. I'd like to see that happen before I feel decent. I want to know about Jeff Okudah, if Okudah's got a chance to get back on the field. For the Bears, I want to know about Akeem Hicks, who practiced in a limited fashion yesterday. If Hicks is going to be able to go in this game, because without him, the Bears defense is like a Jenga tower. Like, you pull that one piece out and the whole thing crumbles. So don't feel comfortable picking this game right now. Bears are a 3-point favorite at Bet Rivers, but what I do feel good about is this total, which is sitting at 45 points right now. And it's like, we saw this Lions defense on Thanksgiving. It is absolutely dreadful. And I know it's like, oh, well, maybe you'll get the dead cat bounce with the Lions, right? After firing the coach, maybe the team will play better here. It's not like the players are, like, better now that, like, Matt Patricia got fired. Like, the players still aren't great on defense. Like, no disrespect meant, just the truth. Like, the defense is bad. The Lions the Bears put up 27 on them back in week 1. And if DeAndre Swift catches that ball in the end zone, the Lions put 50 up on the board. And if we don't get Akeem Hicks for the Bears, I certainly think the Lions can move the ball on this Bears defense. And Aaron Rodgers and the Packers just shredded back on Sunday Night Football. So if this total were like in the high 40s, like 51 or so, which is an average scoring game in the NFL this year, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to stay away. It's being lined almost a touchdown under, an average scoring game in the NFL this season, and I don't see that. I think we're going to get some points on Sunday. So give me the over 45 points for the Bears and the Lions, and we'll have to wait to see what the injury report shows on Friday before we make a play against the spread.
All right. Thank you, Nick. Have a great weekend. We appreciate it as always.
Great. Stoney and Jansen wishing you guys and all the great people of Detroit minimal sweats, winning bets, and the absolute very best of luck.
That was Radio.com sports betting insider Nick Costos. Nick, brought to us by Bet Rivers Sportsbook. Go to betrivers.net and sign up for the free $5,000 weekly pick'em contest. Also, go check out Nick on the show You Better You Bet. Great betting insights and fun wherever you find your favorite podcasts.
Hey, Michigan, do you want to capitalize on Stoney's great run right now? 14-1 over 3 weeks, 5-0 last week, and Bet Online. I'm excited to tell you, you are so close to being able to do that because FanDuel Sportsbook is almost here. If you register your account early with FanDuel Sportsbook, you're going to get $100 in free bets once they go live. There's no deposit required. Just sign up, verify your account, and you're all set. FanDuel Sportsbook app is easy, safe, and fast. It's easy to register, make a deposit, and quickly find your bet. When you win, they're going to get you your cash fast, too. Now, here's something I think is fun. It's in-game betting. If you see something you like, place that bet. It's safe and fast and easy. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/100free to claim your $100.
The destination is on your right. 10630 West Satter Drive.
Over in Present, Michigan. Bonus issued in non-withdrawable site credit that expires 7 days after FanDuel goes live in Michigan. $100 is distributed as $50 site credit on each of Sportsbook and Casino. Unique user ID verification is required. Offer ends on go live date. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. 97.1